So it's been a fascinating adventure just since coming back from vacation, and we've learned a lot and spoken to Governor Abbott and talked to a lot of people about the special session underway. And so let's make a little more legislative news and dive a little deeper into something that is a major development. And let's take these things in chronological order. A few days ago, my longtime friend, State Senator Jane Nelson, announced that she is vacating Senate District 12. Not long after that, another very close longtime friend of mine, State Representative Tan Parker, said, I'll offer myself for that. So to talk about that race and that vacancy, and, oh, by the way, while he's still a member of the Texas House, things going on in the special session, it is a pleasure to welcome State Rep Tan Parker. Welcome, my friend. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Mark, it's great to be with you this morning. Thank you so much for having me.
My enormous pleasure. First, let's talk about the next thing that may be on your business card. Did you know that Jane was going to be stepping down? You know, you and she and I, and we've all been Denton County friends forever. What was the process that led you to think, that's a big vacancy to fill, and I think I want to do it?
Well, Mark, look, there are enormous shoes to fill. Senator Nelson has done such a wonderful job for Texas for so many years. We've all been so blessed to have her service. And I was taken back like everyone else was. Senator Nelson called me just a little while prior to the announcement, and we had a wonderful conversation, and she decided that it was the right time for her and her family to make a move. And so after that became public, Mark, I just had an incredibly humbling number of calls for days and days. And after a few days, Beth and I, after a lot of prayer and talking to our daughters that are now, of course, college age, we decided it was the right thing for us to do. And what an honor and a privilege for me, a blessing to be able to jump into this race, to have the opportunity to continue to be a strong conservative voice serving Texas.
For those unfamiliar, District 12, just think of Denton County, think of Louisville, think of Flower Mound, think of Highland Village. But then the district sweeps over and cuts down across 35, west of 35, on down to there's a chunk of the district that's sort of in West Fort Worth, correct?
That's correct, Mark. In the current configuration, Tarrant County is in it. And so it's obviously predominantly a Denton County seat today, but obviously a good bit of Tarrant County. We obviously don't know exactly what the configuration will look like after we finalize redistricting, but it should look very similar. And, of course, with the amazing growth in Denton County, it'll have a very strong Denton County presence.
Now, which is exactly the direction I wanted to go. What is the redistricting calendar? Because we got to figure out we're going to pick up a couple of congressional seats in Texas. That's awesome because of our growing population. But when will the lines be drawn? Because I have a feeling a lot of people are waiting to see how those lines are drawn before they see if they're going to join you in the race.
No, that's right, Mark. And basically what's going to take place is that we expect to get all that data coming from the Census Bureau here now, probably by September. We'll have that data in. It'll take a couple of weeks to load. The Legislative Budget Board will take that data, load it into the systems, and then we'll have a special session that the governor will call on that. I don't have an exact crystal ball on what that looks like, but the best guess is probably somewhere between September 15th and October 1st we'll be in for a special session on redistricting, and we will work to get our maps done, and that's really the process. And so, once that fully unfolds, we'll know what takes place and when our primary will be next year and so on and so forth. So, but it all really begins with the governor calling us in for that special session, which will happen again in the second half of September, beginning of October timeframe.
Do you think you'll have a lot of company? Do you think this will be a crowded race ultimately?
Well, look, at the end of the day, Mark, it is the people's seat. And so anyone that wants to run certainly can run, and I always encourage that. But, I'm obviously proud of the fact that it's been a tremendous honor for me to serve Denton County in our region for so many years on critical topics and being a strong conservative voice. And I intend to continue to work hard to represent the people of our area in a passionate way, to take care of our conservative values and to make certain that we continue to make certain that being the stewards for Texas that we need to be. We recognize that Texas plays a unique role in the future of this country, and we got to continue to have a strong Texas that is vibrant, second to none in this country to lead America forward. As goes Texas, as goes the country. And so I want to continue to be that strong voice in the legislature, in the chamber, across the rotunda in the Senate. And, I'm looking forward to the process this year of campaigning and earning every vote here in the North Texas region that will be eligible ultimately in the district, Mark.
District 63 State Rep Tan Parker is with us. Website is tanparker.com, which I'm guessing pivots straight to the State Senate District 12 campaign. So everybody can go to tanparker.com if they're so inclined. In our remaining minutes, let's talk a little bit about your current job and what's going on right now. How's this whole special session thing going? How's it going, and how do you think it's going to go as we move through a pretty long list from Governor Abbott of things he'd like for you guys to do?
Well, Mark, first of all, it's absolutely absurd what we've been experiencing since we started this special session. The Democrats need to get back to Texas and to stop playing games, and they need to step up and do their jobs. They have a duty to fulfill. They have a responsibility to the people of Texas, and all of us expect them to get back here and get to work, period. The fact that the taxpayers of Texas are footing the bill and wasting resources when we should be productive and getting good things done. We had a great session, but was a lot of additional things for us to do that are on the call. And the fact that they are being absolutely so irresponsible is just absolutely absurd. So, because of those things, the people of Texas are missing out, not just on getting a good election integrity bill done right now, which is essential. I mean, think about this narrative. The reality is that this is nothing but the Democrat national narrative trying to come in and impact Texas. We know this election integrity bill is a great bill. It is a fair and good bill that the vast, vast, vast majority of Texans support. The issue is, at the end of the day, people need to read the bill and not take this liberal ideology and this nonsense coming from the White House. At the end of the day, what we're doing today with regard to the election integrity topic, we are providing more early voting than the president's own state of Delaware, for heaven's sake, or blue states like New York or New Jersey. It is absolutely ridiculous. We have a failed presidential administration. And so as a result of that, you see the incredible declines that we're experiencing in terms of economic strength with inflation. You see what's happening on the border, the disaster that we have there. It's one disaster after another in the first 6-7 months of this new presidency. And they're trying to cover it up with this national narrative. So it's not going to work. The people of Texas realize it, and these Democrats need to get back to do their work. It's also beyond the election integrity bill. We have a lot of other items on the call, such as providing a 13th check to our retired teachers, Mark, that are working so hard, to make ends meet. And they served so valiantly taking care of our Texas kids for so many years. I served as chairman of the committee just 2 weeks ago and voted out the 13th check legislation that is now ready to be before us for debate on the House floor. And that's another critical priority. As is this week, we're talking about foster care. We've got issues with the foster care system protecting those precious babies that we've got to tackle. And again, the fact that the Democrats, not all of them, but the vast, vast majority are playing games and are delinquent up in D.C. Cannot be tolerated. And we're going to continue to work hard. If they don't come back here in this July special session, I can assure you Governor Abbott will call us back for another special session in August, and we'll do it every month until we get these critical priorities done for the people of Texas.
Also on the list from Governor Abbott, and this enabled me to have a fascinating back and forth with one of your fellow House members on the Democrat side, Jarvis Johnson, out in Northwest Houston. He was all over the place saying that Republicans and Governor Abbott put critical race theory into the special session because, quote, we don't want kids to know that the Klan was evil, or we don't want them to know that white supremacy is bad. And I figured I'd gather every bit of restraint I could have, and I called Mr. Johnson a liar. Let's spend a little bit on education and what we're trying to do and what we're and what the prospects are for keeping the societal poison that is critical race theory out of Texas classrooms.
Well, Mark, thank you for letting me talk about this subject. I mean, this is another critical thing. We, of course, tackled the critical race theory and stopping it in Texas during the regular session with a bill that the governor did sign. We need to make some improvements to strengthen it. And that's what we're doing here during this special session when the Democrats come back and we're able to make quorum. But look, you know how essential this is. we absolutely need to respect every citizen of this country, people of all races and all creeds. And we've got to do that. We can't invoke, some small slice, some slice of our history and say that it's indicative of everything. And we all know that we're a much more enlightened country than we were hundreds of years ago. The world's much more enlightened than we were hundreds of years ago. I'm proud of America. I'm proud of Texas. I'm proud of the fact that we're the most exceptional country on God's earth. And so we cannot shy away from telling those truths. I'm also the author, Mark, of the 1836 Project, which is all about protecting and preserving Texas history for all of our citizens, not just kids, but all of our citizens and those that move to Texas. Why? Because if we don't know our history, if we don't know where we've been, we absolutely cannot determine where we are going in the future. And so, these issues go hand in hand, but the people of Texas need to know when they send their kids to a wonderful Texas public school that they're not being indoctrinated with leftist thought processes. They've got to know that their kids are learning history and they're getting a fair assessment of all of our history. I want to teach all of our history, the good and the bad. And we know that we're always on a process of continuous improvement, always working to improve as a state, as a nation, as a people. But at the same time, to always make certain that our children know how blessed we are to be Americans, how blessed we are to be Texans, and to be in this incredible, exceptional country.
State Representative Tan Parker, now Senate candidate Tan Parker with us. Last thing, had the governor on Monday. We talked about a lot of things, and among them, the list of things on the special session call. And on the always contentious issue of gender, there's a good thing on there about making sure there are no boys on the girls' track team, et cetera, et cetera. But curious in its absence was a bill that would outlaw these mutilating surgeries, these conversion therapies that crazy parents and evil doctors are willing to do to our children. And I asked the governor, why isn't that on the special session call? And he said, because it would have zero chance of passing the Texas House. Is he right?
Well, look, let me say this. First of all, that women in sports bill that's on the call is critically important that we get done. Mm-hmm. I'm an author on that, a co-author on that bill, and we will absolutely do everything in our power to get it done. But I want to address the issue here of gender mutilation. And to me, it is a form of abuse of our children. I think it will pass in the House, and my hope is that we can push forward. We'll have enough support from the membership that we can show the governor that the support is there in the chamber for him to put it on the call and for us to pass the bill, because it's imperative that we do so, in my assessment. I was a joint author of those bills in the regular session, and we need to absolutely get them done. It is a form of child abuse, and we have to make certain that we address it. Look, children, adults at 18 can do what they want to do at 18 and above, but we absolutely have a moral imperative to protect children under 18. That's my view. I will fight for that, and I will fight to muster the support so that the governor can put the topic on the call, Mark. That's my commitment.
It's not on, I think that makes sense. It's not on the call for this session. Could it be somehow added supplementally to this session, or would it have to be in a subsequent special session? Because it looks like we're going to have more than one.
Look, it can be added. It could be added at any time in this special and in the future specials. Look, I think the likelihood right now, the Democrats coming back here in July, is slim. They've got the president hiding them, protecting them in the basement of the White House, for heaven's sake. And, Schumer and Pelosi bringing them lunches and dinners every day. I mean, I just don't think they're going to leave. It's just disgusting, but that's what's happening. And I hope that every Texan, not just Republicans, but I hope independents and I hope Democrats themselves are recognizing what an embarrassment this is to Texas, that they walk away from doing the people's business. But, Mark, this topic, my objective is to get the governor to understand that we do have the support, that the speaker to see we do have the support on this topic, and have it be put on the call either now in July or in the future.
All right, I hope so. Tan Parker, current state rep District 63, candidate for State Senate District 12, the Jane Nelson vacancy. TanParker.com for more info. Tan, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much. Safe travels, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for the great opportunity to visit with you today. I always enjoy it so much. My very best to you and your family. And I want the residents of the region to know that I want to continue to serve them as a strong conservative voice. And that's why I've been blessed to have so much incredible support, all the endorsements from so many elected officials across Denton County, and wonderful folks that, like our good friend Chad Hennings, who's bringing back Thomas Keepers, to our wonderful former governor, Rick Perry. I'm looking forward to continuing to fight for our conservative values. So thanks again for having me on the show, and God bless you and the family, my friend.
Thank you so much. That is Tan Parker, state rep now, state senator in the future. Who knows? TanParker.com. That's the campaign website. Mark Davis, 853.